Hello and welcome to Firearm Freedom. This is going to be another First Impressions video. In today's First Impressions video, we are taking a look at the brand new Resilient Suppressors Stacy's Mom. There are no sponsors currently for the channel, so if you want to help me out, all you got to do is hit subscribe, throw a comment down below. Those two things really do help these days, and I appreciate it. Also, I'm trying to crank up the subscribers on my B channel. It is an adventure vlog channel. I got everything from fitness, skateboarding, traveling, snowboarding, mountain biking, everything in between. I love all that stuff, and you might like it too. Check the card up in the right-hand corner of your screen now and give it a subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Resilient back again here on the channel. Man, I don't know what it is. I always feel bad because every single Resilient can, I just end up beating the shit out of for these videos, and I always bring them on the big screen and they are looking a little rough, a little morning after-ish, if you know what I mean. I just tear them up, but that's okay. That is why I do these videos, to show you guys how these suppressors are going to perform and just really what they are made of. I reviewed the Simple Man a little bit ago, and I would kind of consider this more of a 2.0 to that duty line of suppressors. This one in particular is 5.56. Now, as always, full disclosure, what is my relationship with Resilient suppressors? In this case, they did send me this suppressor for free to check out, but they did not ask me to say anything positive whatsoever. In fact, I've said many positive and many negative things about Resilient in the past, and this is going to be another one of those videos. I really like, immediately out of box, the design of the Stacy's Mom suppressor. When it comes to Resilient, they continue to knock it out of the park for me, and really, in this can, I appreciate how they listen to customer feedback. It's really, really nice to see. You have a very old school design with this suppressor. It is just essentially a tube, and you guys know I love a tube suppressor. I don't really like a lot of stuff going on a suppressor. I think the optimal suppressor look is this right here. Just simply welded on baffles that are visible, and it just looks excellent. Now, the difference with the Stacy's Mom suppressor is the end caps. Resilient took a different approach with removable end caps and this design. So what I have in this suppressor right now is the vented end cap, and this does come with the suppressor as it sits. It also comes with a standard, relatively standard, 1/2x28 direct thread adapter. The vented end cap is going to have 3 small holes in the bottom of the end cap, and you can see that it is elevated forward slightly. But Resilient did this really cool thing where they kind of like recessed the threads for that end cap and made it so that it was really easy to recess the entire end cap back and not have this kind of ugly looking thing cranking out the front. Now, you do have somewhat of flash hiding prongs in there as well, but that's also flats to allow you to remove the end cap. And I also have at my disposal, and you guys will have heard in the beginning of this video, the solid end cap. And essentially, again, the only difference is the vented end cap, if I can get the camera to focus, has a hole here, here, and here, and it's slightly elevated in the recessed portion to allow gas to be vented out of the front of the suppressor. This is not a fully flow-through design. It's still a relatively-ish normal design on the inside of the suppressor with the baffles, but what these end caps allow you to do is change the amount of gas that is going out of the front of the suppressor So for certain applications, you can utilize this can on some guns that are going to be a little bit more picky about overall back pressure. They advertise the solid cap as really more optimized for bolt actions in 243 or 6mm Creedmoor, etc. And they also have a medium cap that's kind of a middle of the road, and they really advertise the vented cap for semi-automatics and all of those things. But I ran the solid end cap on semis, and I had absolutely no issues whatsoever. It's not necessarily that you're going to have reliability issues with the solid end cap, but the vented end cap is going to allow you to, again, just be a little more gentle on your rifles. It's not even necessarily a gripe, but just small side note that I have about these end caps. Resilient designs them to be removable with pretty much any tool that's out there, but you really don't have a lot of surface area here. And although, yes, in a perfect world, you could, I mean, hell, you could put like a quarter or something in there, and if this thing was not carbon seized, sure, it's going to come right out. But let me tell you, do I have experience with carbon seized suppressors? And if you don't put grease all throughout here, this will 100% get carbon seized. That's just the reality of it. So I did grease the living hell out of this area of the suppressor, so I should be okay. But in the future, I would love to see slightly more material or some sort of an ability to use a tool on this end cap. Now, as a pro tip from good old Harbor Freight, I can't even remember what this tool is. It's like a chisel, so I don't know how to explain it, but I found this in the automotive section and I lopped the top off of perfectly for situations like this. And this tool actually fits in really, really nicely and gives you a lot of torquing ability to get this in and out of the suppressor. So manufacturing some sort of a tool like this for yourself might be helpful. You, again, can use multiple things if you properly grease that end cap. That's just something to keep in mind. In the rear portion of the suppressor, this is something I'm so happy that they did. I have an ASR mounting system. This, still to this day, is my favorite mounting system of all time. I absolutely love the ASR mount. And my complaint with the Simple Man suppressor is that really it was not ultimately hub compatible because you really couldn't run any sort of a full-size, larger muzzle device from Silencer Co. or Dead Air or any of the other options that are out there to pin and weld rifles to get them to full length. So with this, Resilient actually increased the internal diameter and length of the blast chamber on this suppressor, and this allows you to use all standard muzzle devices. So of course it is hub compatible in the back, 1.375-inch diameter threads, and I was running it with full-size 3-prong ASR flash hiders, 3-chambered brakes all day long, and there were absolutely no complaints whatsoever with this suppressor and those devices. So that is absolutely huge. As far as build material of this suppressor, you're looking at 17-4 stainless, and it is CNC laser welded. When it comes to heat and the suppressor, it is a duty can, but it is not a belt-fed suppressor. So when it comes to standard full auto fire, you could get to roughly about 210 rounds and be just fine. But when we're looking at it overall, Resilient saying not to get it above 1,000 degrees. And that's, you know, it's a little hard to do that. But I gotta say, I did notice that when we were shooting the suppressor at the range, it was a hot range day, so that does play a factor. But it did get hot relatively quick in the blast chamber area. I don't know if that's because I was using flash hiders and not brakes to kind of act as a little bit of a sacrificial first baffle, but again, it did get hot relatively quick. Now, I do have at my disposal an FRT trigger that we were doing a little bit of testing on, and I will be trying this in the future on that FRT trigger slightly just to see what it can really take. Now, although it did get hot relatively quickly, I would imagine that's just because there's not an outer sleeve around this can from the way that I'm looking at it. You have your baffles present right here. So This usually means that the outer portion of the suppressor is going to get hot very quickly. But on the opposite side of that coin, it also cooled really quick for steel. I didn't have any like major issues. I waited about 4 or 5 minutes after mag dumping it, and it cooled down to that point where I could put it in my bag, hold it with standard mechanics gloves, and not have any issues. So that I was actually really happy to see. And overall, the sound quality was really good on the suppressor. I mean, you guys will be the judge on the raw audio files in the beginning of this video, but I was able to take my left side of my ear pro off, and I did not have any ringing. I did have ringing when I took my ears completely off, and that was even on a mid-length gas system. So that's just kind of the name of the game when it comes to 556 suppressors. It is very, very, very rare that I find a combination that does not give me any ringing with full power 556 ammunition going through suppressor. And in this case, again, relatively standard on the noise. In fact, we had a Polo K out for this day of testing, and it was about neck and neck with the Polo K. The Polo K had a slightly deeper tone, but overall, for the size that this can is coming in at, which is like 6.2 inches and about 14.5-ish ounces, and the price on this thing is under $600. So I think it's a very competitive suppressor for this market. And once again, I really think Resilient delivered. They consistently put out these cans that are really cool in the design, and they just work well. I haven't had any issues. I mean, I did have that recall situation with the Putnik, but all of my other rifle suppressors from Resilient have been 100%. They've been excellent, and that seems to be the case with Stacy's mom on this option as well. You do also have some barrel length restrictions and caliber restrictions. Being a 5.56 can, you're obviously a lot more limited on calibers because of what's out there. For a 12.5-inch barrel, you can shoot calibers like .243, 6mm Creedmoor, 6mm Dasher, or 6mm BR, and then you can bring it all the way down to, I say all the way down, 2 inches less to 10.3 with 5.56, 223, and 6mm arc. So 10.3 is about the minimum that you want to go to on this suppressor. That is going to wrap up this first impressions video on the new Resilient suppressor, Stacy's mom. If you guys have any other questions about this can or anything else on the channel, please put them down below in the comment section. I will do my best. While you're down there, head up to the description for the ways to support the channel. And as always, stay tuned for more great content coming soon.